To begin with online applications, go to applications.creativekidssask.ca. If you're new to Creative Kids, you can enter your first and last names in these blanks, as well as an email address and password, and then hit register now. We recommend that each family or household use a single email address and choose one parent who will apply each time. If you've applied to Creative Kids before, but this is your first time applying online, we already have an account set up for you, but you'll need to call us to activate it. I will post that phone number at the end of the video. Once you've registered or called us to activate your account, choose login, use your email address to log in, and we'll enter the application process. Okay, so this is the Your Applications page. From here, you can update your family information by clicking My Profile. You can create a new application, or you can just see also the previous applications that you've submitted. Any applications that you've submitted already as a draft will show up as a draft, and you'll need to click the Edit Application button here. If you click that, you can get into that application and finish it up. Note that anything that's marked as a draft won't be considered at the application deadline until you've finished it and it says submitted by applicant on it. You can also log out at any time just by pressing the logout button at the top. If the screen is blank, if you don't see any of your applications here, but you know you've applied before, that means that you should, again, stop the video and give us a call, and we can just activate the account for you. So the first thing to do, let's update your family information by clicking on My Profile. So we've logged in as a family as Kaylee Test, and you can see that we've already got her information in here. So again, if you're new, this will all be blank. So just enter all the required information. You won't be able to continue until the required fields are all met. And again, if you have applied before, but this is blank, give us a call at the number at the end of this video and we can activate your account. So if you needed to change, say your address, your phone number is changed, you can just go in and make those changes right here. This is also where you tell us what your annual gross household income is. And if, for instance, you get child support from another parent, so for instance, like pretend your notice of assessment said $27,992 and you receive, say, $3,000 from another parent each year, you'll see that the total household income adjusts accordingly. Kaylee doesn't, so we're just going to leave it at $27,992. This is also where you tell us the number of kids in the family, whether it's a single income or dual income family. And this is important too, additional information about your financial situation. For instance, Kaylee has mentioned that their income is close to $28,000 according to the notice of assessment, but she lets us know here that her husband was laid off from May to August and the total income of the year for the year will be closer to $24,500. We'll also need an income verification documents from you. You can upload a notice of assessment, your most recent notice of assessment from Canada Revenue Agency. And you do that just by clicking upload file. Here we've got Ben's notice of assessment, and we also have Kaylee's notice of assessment. Since there's two parents in the household, we ask for both of those. If you've made a mistake or if you've already got one in here from maybe last year, it might show up here. You can click the red X to get rid of an old one or a mistake and then upload another file. If you have something like farming income, we ask that you provide a statement of farming income, or if you have any other financial documents that kind of help clarify your situation, you could upload that here as well. Instead of uploading a notice of assessment, you can tell us the name of an endorser, somebody who's familiar with your financial situation, and we'll get to that in step 4 of the application. The other thing that we do here is we can see the parents' information. We can see each of the children that are in this family. In this case, we're going to apply for Madison Test. And you'll see that Emma's here, Liam's here, Amelia's here, but Madison is not. So what we'll do is we're going to add a child, and her name is Madison. And you'll see that now we have her information here. So we're going to save. We're going to create a new application just by clicking on that button. This tells you which step you're on. You can jump between steps if you need to just by clicking on these bubbles. The first thing and the other thing you'll notice is the upcoming application deadline is, so this is when applications will stop being taken. Also, this is the deadline that children have to be 4 years old before for their applications to be considered. Okay, so the next thing to do is to select a committee. If you live in one of these cities, pick it. If you live outside of these cities, pick provincial. And Lakeland is basically kind of, there's a map here. If you click view this map, you can see exactly where Lakeland is. For us, we're going to choose test. This is just a made up person, and go to next. So this step is where you would choose whose application this is. Before we do that, if you haven't updated your profile, it's best to click update profile to give us the most recent financial information, or to, if your child isn't shown in this list, again, you'll need to update your profile to add a child to your family like we did in the last moment there. So we are going to choose Madison. If you ever need to save your application in the middle of it, you can choose save draft, and it will save your progress, and then you can see it from the application view that we were just looking at that will list it as a draft. Let's move on with Madison's application. So next. Step 3 is all about the activity. What does your child want to do, and who offers those classes or lessons? So first of all, you choose your activity from the list, and in this case, Madison's interested in hip hop, dance, and jazz. So we're just going to choose multiple classes. And then we start typing in the name of the place that offers the activities. We'll type in test. We want test business. That's where she's going to be dancing. And you'll see it comes up right away. But if yours didn't, if you check this box, what'll happen is it'll expand, and sometimes you have to erase it and then kind of start over. It'll expand the search into areas outside of your region potentially. So basically always check this just to make sure that you're doing a broad search. Ours shows up, and test business is who we want. Now, if you see one that's similar, choose it. Like similar in that it's not quite the name they normally go by, but you figure like the address and the name is pretty close. Choose that one, and we'll talk to them to be sure that we've got the correct information. If they're not in here at all, go to add a new one and create a new service provider and choose them. What do you do if you need more than one service provider? That depends a little bit. So if your child wants to say take 2 different activities like guitar lessons and art classes, you need to create one application for each activity. So you'd go through one all the way to step 4, submit it, and then go through another one all the way to the end as well. Pretend though that Madison needs, say, dance shoes from a different business than her dance class. We do consider that. So she'd need to apply with 2 service providers. So search for the second service provider, and in this case, it's called Test Dancewear. And again, you can add a new one if that person did not come up on the list. And you can see that both of them have been selected here. You can remove either of them at any time if you need to, but it's important that you've chose, like both of them are selected there. Now we choose a start and end date. Now again, note that you can save a draft if you need to, and also that these fields are required. So if you, for instance, didn't know the program start date, you might want to save it as a draft and talk to the business that's offering the classes to get a start date, and then come back and finish the application. We'll move on to the next step, which is the costs of the activity. So you apply for costs that you have not incurred. We can't pay for anything that's already started or already happened. Madison wants to take hip hop and jazz dance, and these are at test business. You can see a drop down of every service provider that you've selected right there. And then if there's more, you add an additional item. So for instance, there's also costumes, also payable to test business for $80. And then we're gonna add one more item, and this is the dance shoes. And these are available from Test Dancewear. And here they're gonna be pretend $60. So you can see that the system has added up everything. If you go over $750, you'll notice that it gives you a warning saying that Creative Kids can provide a maximum of $750, so any additional costs will be the responsibility of the family, and that you fill in this here to explain how the family would come up with the extra the extra costs basically. So I'm just going to put this back to what we had originally said at 60. If your business of choice is not listed in the drop down menu, you actually go back to step 3 and you would choose another service provider from the list again, and then choose them so that they come up in the selected service providers part, and then go back to step 4 and they would show up in this drop down. So that's all you have to do if you've kind of missed that step. Now we ask families to verify their income. Kaylee has already uploaded her notices of assessment, and so she wouldn't need to provide any extra verification. She could just save, submit the application at this point. But for instance, if you can't find your notice of assessment, or your financial situation has changed a lot since your most recent notice of assessment, or if you're just more comfortable talking to somebody about it than supplying that document, what you'd need to do is talk to somebody who is familiar with your family's financial situation. At the very end of the video, I'll put up a slide that shows who can endorse an application. So we're gonna search for Zoe Pretend, and she doesn't come up. So that just means Creative Kids doesn't know Zoe. No big deal. So then what we do is we would add Zoe into this part here, for instance. Okay, so now we've put an endorser in here, and again, you can save the draft if you need to talk to the endorser first or find out their email address or anything like that. A number of these fields are required, so if you miss one, it might hold you back from submitting the application, and that's where what would happen. So you could save a draft here, or we're going to submit this because we're all ready to apply for Madison's lessons. So click submit, and now it's going to ask us if we want to do another application. So if you choose yes, choose another child and go through the application process again. If you choose no, so the first thing it does is it says that the application has been submitted successfully. So you know that Creative Kids has received your application. Now we go back to the listing. We can see that Madison's application for dance for 640 has been submitted by applicant. So Kaylee's application has been sent to Creative Kids. This also shows, again, that there are 2, Liam and Emma's applications are still drafts. So she would have to go in here and edit the application in order to finish them. And that's it. Thank you for watching.